So here at Truly Tropical, we have developed some really special varieties. We've got about 11, I think, so far, and one of those happens to be Marko. And whenever I have a really nice new variety, I try to make a second tree because you never know if something weird is going to happen to one of the trees, then you have a backup. So this tree right here is the backup tree. I just grafted this, topworked it a few years back, and there is just a lot of mangoes everywhere. We've got this one back here, which is amazingly colored. It's just gorgeous, you know, peach colors, rose colors, all sorts of things. That is just hanging out, just I don't know, it seems like it's probably at its peak, but it is just so gorgeous. I haven't picked it yet. And then we have these other fruit on the tree. As you can tell, Marko is a pretty large fruit. For a small tree like this to produce fruit this big, it's a good sign. But the best thing about Marko is the taste, of course. Texture, of course, it's nearly fiberless, and then we have like added benefits to this particular variety. You might have guessed that it has a very long hang time. I mean, a lot of varieties, when a fruit gets to be this level of ripeness, that fruit is on the ground. But Marko seems to hang on. But then there's more. We have our original Marko tree right against the back fence. Squirrels run up and down that fence all day long, and they eat all sorts of mangoes off of the trees that are next to the fence, but they don't touch Marko. So I think the skin doesn't smell right to the squirrels, but anyway, we have not had any problem with squirrels eating the mangoes that are right next to the fence. And then just a few years back, I did a little experiment and just never picked the Marko fruit that were on that tree, you know, the last fruit. Of course, we can't sacrifice all of the fruit on the tree, but just let it hang there. And it stayed on for a very long time. And at the very end, the fruit had gotten so big on that tree that it was hanging right next, about 10 inches at most above ground level. And at that point, when it had been hanging for a long time and was definitely very, you know, ripe at, you know, not overly ripe, but very ripe at that point, that's when a squirrel finally got to it. So anyway, squirrel resistant, really delicious, and just a really nice fruit. So Marko is, you know, as I said, one of many varieties that we've developed here, but it's a very strong variety, and it's one that we have produced in 1 gallon bud grafted plants, and we will actually have that at the Mango Festival coming up next week.